Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe if you want to subscribe. I mean, I am asking, but I'm not trying to force you to subscribe. Um, if you like the content, that's great. If you don't, I understand. Please leave me some feedback in the comments as far as with my content. Basically, if you think I should do better, please let me know. I'll try to do better. And I do read all my comments. As I say, I read my comments and I try to answer any questions that are asked to the best of my abilities, as well as to the fact of the aspect of if I get notified about them as well too. Um, so the the question at hand that I was given basically was, not given it me in a hand, but like there was a discussion I had with a few people basically, and we were talking about like the greatest of all time, the goat overall, the goat. Someone said like, oh, Michael Jordan, Michael Jordan, Michael Jordan, which made sense. And then there was Tom Brady, the goat. Tom Brady has to be the goat there too. Come on. But then there was like Serena Williams. I mean, like, come on, she has to be the goat because like look what she's done. She has to be a goat in that aspect as well too. And some would say like maybe Tiger Woods or whomever basically in the world of golf. But it was overall the point of like talking about the goat overall, meaning like the overall sports world, who would be the goat of all time. And a lot of people, as I said, were pointing to either Michael Jordan or Tom Brady. And grant you, I would say I have no arguments whatsoever. I mean, in their relative sports, they are the greatest of all time in that situation. Then there's baseball as well too, which changes a few dynamics as well in that aspect as well too. But um, if we're talking about pure athleticism, um, if we're talking about pure athleticism, and as far as like the number of championships they've done and what they've done in the they've done, I mean, quite honestly, you can't forget about soccer. I mean, Wimbledon, like tennis, you have championships galore at that point. So that's why I would say Serena Williams is definitely up there as well too. But when it comes to soccer or football, depending where you're at, I mean, you can't deny that. In reality, I mean, like everyone's saying like, "Hey, Messi's the goat. Messi's the goat." Um, or Cristiano might be the goat, or for that matter, Pele, because the fact is like, hey, Pele was the one that basically made Brazil what they are. Basically, I'm not the country, but as far as in the World Cup scenario, as well as bringing popularity of football throughout the entire globally, outside except for the U.S. of course. Um, Pele is the great. I would say Pele is the greatest, but in reality, looking at it now, we could say that basically maybe Messi is the greatest, greatest. But that's right now. I honestly think that Mbappe might change all that, and he's going to be breaking records left and right. I think for the near future, the kid's like only 23. He's going to be breaking records left and right. I think, to be quite honest. Um, but now, if we're talking about pure skill, athleticism, and not only and popularity, uh, and but the aspect of popularity, money. If money's also involved, popularity, money, um, and athleticism, pure raw talent and skill. Yeah, you could say that Jordan makes more sense than anyone else because the fact is like what the man was able to do was really impressive. But some could say like Tom Brady is the greatest of the goat basically for what he's been able to do. He's 44, 45 right now. Like he's able to do what he's able to keep he's keeping his teams literally in the playoff hunt almost every year. There's maybe 1 year where he was not able to get a team into the playoffs while he was still playing, um, and to still do that and that still be in the hunt today. This year basically or this season is pretty impressive to be quite honest. All right, last year or yeah it was a kind of a shot year unfortunately for him, but um, the man's been able to take hits. The thing is he's not a good runner, so we know he can't run. So on pure athleticism, we can't say it's Brady. And that's where it comes back to Jordan. But then if you go to Jordan, you have to look at Messi too, because like Messi was able to do this constantly for quite a long time, running back and forth the field, for like 90 minutes pretty much, and scoring so many goals, scoring who knows how many goals. I mean, scoring that many goals is very hard to do unless you're that good of a player. you're not scoring that many goals. So that's why I think Messi has to be included in that conversation. But the question is like, who is the greatest of all time? Who is the goat? It's going to be an ongoing debate, I think, because like if you're going to include all sports, then you can't not include Serena Williams. Look what she's done. Because if you're looking at championships, she's got like who knows how many Grand Slams. I mean, some are saying that Steffi Graf is because Steffi Graf has more Grand Slams than her, and Steffi Graf did also retire a little bit much a younger age than what Venus was retired at. But Venus was able to like compete for this long for how long she did. She has to be considered up there as well too. But I mean you can't forget Steffi Graf of course. Steffi Graf is up there, and I've witnessed her play, and she was really amazing, really amazing. And then there of course let's not forget in the baseball world. I mean God knows there's so many out there that's hard to determine. I mean honestly you could say you want to say Barry Bonds. I mean, yeah, PEDs are could affect it, but you know what? I don't think he did it by that much. I mean, the fact that he was able to do three things basically. He's had a 30. He was part of the 30-30 club. Um, most home runs and most home runs in a season. Two records that will never that will be very hard to break right now. It'll be very hard to break those two records. Babe Ruth was one that Babe Ruth of course was the greatest of all time. So I think in baseball, and I think he should still be considered considering the amount of time and the way he played and like what he did, like some of the stuff that he did. I mean, like honestly, the fact that the man was able to drink the night before and still show up at a game the next day hung over and still play really well is pretty amazing. I mean, there were so many stories out there about Babe Ruth. It's unbelievable. So in the baseball world, you would say Barry Bonds, but in reality, I think it's still, and to this day, Babe Ruth is well known throughout the world. Basically, at that point, I mean, not through the world, but he is still well known. Everyone still knows who Babe Ruth is. I mean, it's been what almost 50, 60 years since since he's passed, and he's still well known today to this day. But then, of course, let's not forget Muhammad Ali, by far the greatest in that aspect. And that's where I think that's where the number one comes into play at that point. I think it's because of the fact that he is a boxer. He was an athlete. He held a championship title for so long, defended for so long, was able to come back and get it, and sort of reinvented the sport a little bit as well at the same time too. I personally would say Muhammad Ali is number one by far. Muhammad Ali number one. Number two would have to be then Babe Ruth, and then number three would have to be Jordan, and then of course number four. Wait, number five would have to be then. Wait, one Muhammad Ali, two Jordan, three Babe Ruth, four Brady, five Venus Williams. Those are my like top five, kind of like my sort of Mount Everest type of thing, basically. But with that, I leave it at that. Um, if you guys disagree, please let me know. If you guys agree, also please let me know. Why don't you guys let me know who your list basically of like who do you think the greatest of all times are, like your top five, in the five. I was gonna say Mount Rushmore, but that's only four. And I think we need five in this case. Oh, and honestly, I think the fact that Trump was trying to create a fifth, statue or carving on Mount Rushmore deems it to basically it's like okay, this is Mount Rushmore of five people basically, like basically the top five greatest of all time basically. And if you just like I said, if you disagree, please let me know who you think are your top five greatest of all times. And remember, overall sports overall. I guess it also comes down to is like some of my criteria might be different. So like if you define your five, like let me know what your criteria was to determine those five basically of greatest of all time. Because it'd be great to know. Because like if we have a few criteria in place, then it's like athleticism, pure athleticism, pure raw athleticism, and dominance in their sports as well as championships. Then like it does get mixed around a little bit here and there. But if you do pure raw sports, pure raw athleticism, That would have to be definitely, I would say, like I said, is where Muhammad Ali outshines everyone else at that point. In any case, with that, I leave it at that basically. So, uh, unfiltered, unedited, and unrehearsed. Until next time.